and welcome back to another episode on the Creamon. In the last episode, we made literally so much progress. You can see it under my feet right now. We got these belts going. We got the tree farm behind me that you can see is working pretty well. It just cut down a cherry tree and now it's going to other stuff. We made the all-in-one machine here that is currently not on. We also made this whole storage system thingy that basically connects all of these items down into our drawer system down below. And also, when it's full, like this, it then sends it over to the farm and turns it off or tells it to stop sending stuff, which is so crazy and such a good system to have in place. So now if I ever take out diorite or something, it'll turn that system back on and we will be good. In this episode, I want to set up a cobblestone generator because although I have diorite, andesite, pretty much unlimited iron, a lot of quartz, oh my gosh, and a bunch of other stuff, bricks even, I don't have any stone or sand, which is really surprising. And there's no automated way right now for me to get that. I thought it'd be good to design that, build it. And while I was thinking about how it's going to work, I thought it'd be kind of interesting to hop into a testing world and kind of show you my design process. So here we are in my creative testing world. You can see a couple of the farms that you might recognize, the all-in-one one, another all-in-one one, a third all-in-one one, a fourth all-in-one one, a fifth. I think this is the initial designs for the iron farm, but if you've seen the video, I obviously compacted it quite a bit, kind of into more what this is looking like, actually. But what we care about is way over here. I just kind of yoinked the cobblestone generator bit of the farm, and I've done a bit of work on doing this type of thing. It has the same, cobblestone goes into the funnel that goes into a vault, and then gets split up into two different sections. This is just filtering on cobblestone or gravel, because we will need that in a minute. And this one's just cobblestone. And then I have a lot of belts and a crushing wheel back here. I want one cobblestone generator that can output into stone, cobblestone, gravel, and sand. Each of those can be turned off, and it increases the production of the other three, if that makes sense. So if I fill up on cobblestone, I can produce more sand, gravel, and stone. The way I wanted to do it is with a thing called, a thing called brass tunnels. These things on paper are really cool. If we turn this on, it will sort the items and spit them out one by one, which is super great. But for some reason in this version that I'm working in, this doesn't go at full belt speed. So as you can see, this is super slow, and if I just remove this one, it zooms. So that's why I can't use these. It is fixed, I think, in later versions, but unfortunately, I'm just not playing in those, so I can't use it. So instead, I'm using a vault and some chutes, which is kind of what I've been using in the other contraptions as well. The basic system that I have here is I split the cobblestone into cobblestone and gravel, goes down into these crushing wheels. The gravel I want to then split in half again, put half of it back into this vault to get crushed into sand, and then the other half just to be stored. The storing part's easy, and the same with cobblestone. I want half of it to be stored, which is easy, and the other half to be then smelted into stone. My initial thought process was to do something kind of like this, where I have a little sideways belt going up here, and then obviously for the gravel, I need a way to split it. Again, half of it goes into the item vault and the other half gets stored. So if we turn this on, we can see kind of where I want stuff to go. And if I connect that up, we can see cobblestone is being yeeted a little bit too far away for what we need, but I'm not really sure if there's a better way to do this. All right, so the next update I have is I'm just throwing the cobblestone into this item vault up here. The biggest challenge now is splitting this again and having half of it be smelted into stone. Okay, this is the first test that I did. And the interesting thing that I guess it's good for you all to know, when stuff goes into this andesite funnel, it prioritizes this smart chute, which probably means that it just prioritizes the closer one. This is also, I bet, happening here, but the crushing wheels are either full or they don't have enough. No, they can't be full. I don't know what's happening here. I think it's just reading that the crushing wheels have stuff, so it is putting stuff on the belt. But since it's just an air gap here, it doesn't know that it's already full, so it just keeps going. So instead of doing a depot or something like that, I think it might be good to just have it drop onto an open airspace, get blown by a fan, and then afterwards get picked up by either a funnel or another chute or something like that. My plan, I don't know if this works, is to hopefully shoot stuff into this. If I connect this, it goes into the item vault. Oh my god. This is the stupidest thing I've ever made. Okay, so this does go in here. That means that I can split this up. I can split this up into a chute that just drops normal gravel and another chute that drops gravel back in here and redoes it so then it gets sand as well. Now we have sand in here. Okay, I've done a little bit more work here and it's working kind of well. As you can see, we're getting sand in here. I switched it up so that the gravel and sand and all the other stuff, I think it's also flint and clay that goes in here, gets thrown up in the chute, and then it gets separated here. Because I was thinking, why not, like I don't need sand way up here if I'm gonna bring it back down here anyway. So this one is getting sand, clay, and flint, and then the gravel by itself is going back up here and going in here. And then I was hoping that it would get split into two here, and then it could just go down into the chute and then we'd be good. But that doesn't seem to be the case. If I just place a block here, we can see, I think all of the gravel that is being made is going straight back into this chest, as you can see. Let me actually jump over here because this has actually been successful. These are actually splitting the cobble evenly, which is awesome to see. So we are getting a pretty even amount of cobblestone and stone into this hopper. Okay, what if I, instead of doing a chute, do two funnels here, and then if I pop both of those out, can I? No way. If I just replace that, I can delete all this stuff up here. This actually looks like it's working. If we remove, oh my gosh, we have so much sand. No, we're getting way more sand than gravel still. I think it is a little bit more even. And I mean, all we care about is like kinda even. Okay, it's not super even. But I think we're getting a pretty even amount of cobblestone and stone, which is great news. It doesn't look like we're keeping up with stuff, which is what I was going to test next here. Because obviously, if all four of them split, that's great. But we also need to make sure that all four of them can run on their own and produce still a ton of each of the four things. And it already looks like we're not going to be able to keep up with cobblestone and these andesite funnels, which is worrying. I'm curious if I can switch this to brass funnels. So that'll drop whole stacks, which for now isn't a big deal. I think it will be kind of soon. So once this is empty, oh, you know what? It's pretty even. Okay, yeah, I think that's good enough. And then let's say we want just sand. So everything but the sand is powered, which means this should start filling up. This item vault is, that's good. The gravel is no longer being connected, which is good, and all of the sand and stuff is going into here. Now, I'm curious, because we're only using one crushing wheel. Are we able to keep up? Okay, yeah. We are nowhere near going fast enough to be able to keep up with all the cobblestone. It is filling up fast. So that means it's just that we can't double crush gravel and sand. Okay, so I've been doing a little bit more work here. I threw in a second set of crushing wheels, and it is able to go full speed with just sand, which is really good. However, as you can see here, gravel is not being split. Neither is cobblestone, which is weird. So I think the reason is that we are feeding both the gravel in with one funnel and the cobblestone in from one funnel to one funnel, meaning one funnel can keep up with the output. So it's not really bothering using the second funnel. So I think I have a little bit of space here. If I can scooch these crushing wheels back a block, I think I'll have more space in front to be able to add in a belt or two to be able to maybe make this a little bit faster. And at a minimum, make it one block shorter, which would be great. All right, so the final, hopefully, progress update is this thing. I shrunk it down. It's 5 blocks wide, which is pretty sweet. And then I scooted these crushing wheels back as far as I could. And it is pretty even. You can see here, I've done some testing with all 4 of them up at once. We're getting pretty much the same amount of cobblestone and stone, a little bit more cobblestone, but that's okay. And then almost the same amount of sand and gravel, but much less sand and gravel than cobblestone and stone. And that's just because the speed of the crushing wheels is going to be slower than not crushing stuff. And I don't think there's a way around this other than having like a bajillion crushing wheels and doing a lot of math and making this thing a lot bigger. And I'm going to be honest, if we can disable stuff specifically and we can produce just sand or just gravel whenever we want, then I don't think it's too big of a deal. So I think now we can actually finally build this in our survivor world. But let's go over some of the rates. So I already talked about the 4 at a time thing. But then also I tested it with just sand, which should be kind of the slowest one. And we got pretty much 20,000, which is, if you add up all these numbers I think get up to 21,000. So it is pretty much at the cusp, which means the gravel, cobblestone, and stone output, if you run just one of those, is going to be very similar, if not better, which is great to see. So yeah, let's grab a schematic of this and bring it into the survival world. All right, we are back in the survival world. And while I was prepping on doing the material gathering that I need for this, I have 0 redstone. Now, I think for just this session, I'm going to just gather it. Oh, I guess. Yoink. I'm going to just gather it by going mining for a little bit. But I think soon we are using a ton of redstone. I think I had 300 or 400 redstone dust that we've used in the past, I guess, last video. So I think we kind of need to get a redstone automated thing going on. But from what I've looked into it, those are complicated and kind of difficult. So I think maybe next episode we jump into that and get that set up. We might need to build a whole building for it, depending on how big it is. I know we need like potions and automatic lava. So it might require more space than what we have up here, which would be a shame, but it would mean that we get to focus a little bit on building, which we haven't done in a while. So yeah, I think that'll be the plan for next time, but I have to go mining. And we're back with all of our stuff that we need. This is done except for creative motor, which we don't need, display link, and stressometer, which we don't need as well. So I suppose we can just hit play. I already laid it out, and it's already doing its thing. This is going fast and is looking pretty spiffy here. We're obviously not going to keep the drawers or really any of the front storage system because we're going to link it up to our thing here. But that shouldn't be too big of an issue. And this looks like it's working so far. Yeah, and it wanted the cobblestone and stone in there already. I'm curious if it'll super glue it for me. Because it did require super glue this time, which is really strange, because normally it doesn't do that. I don't think it'll give us like an indication that it needs super glue, but I think it'd be hilarious if it actually does. Placing the redstone now. It glued everything together, and it dinged, saying it's finished. I'm curious. The glue actually worked this time. Oh, interesting. I wonder why that is. I have no idea. Anyway, we can now, I actually have to break this side, get and put the water in all of these stairs, and then we can start with the lava. Water is now in, putting in the lava now. That's not lava. There we go. Alright, the last lava source we need, where is it? It's right here. There we go. And now this should just work. I'm gonna, oh, it's not gonna work because volts are all weird. For some reason in schematics, you have to replace the volt blocks because they just never, ever, ever work. I'm going to set those in a minute, but we can check to see that it's all working. Ah, of course. We haven't hooked it up to anything. It is now connected. We can turn it on and hopefully it'll work this time. These guys should rotate. Yep. It's making cobblestone. Are we getting cobblestone in here? It looks like it. We are. This fan is backwards. You know what? It's probably because I mirrored it. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so... Ooh. Okay, I need a vertical one. There we go. Now it's working. So I mirrored the schematic just so that this wall, this is like a really flat wall here, just so that it could be up against the wall, funnily enough. And apparently that switches the rotation of some stuff, which is so interesting. I don't really know how the gearboxes work, to be honest. So I think that's just how it's gonna be. Why is the gravel part of this not working? My guess... Oh, you know what? I bet the fan under there is not working as intended. Okay, so I'm in the chute and the fan right now is pulling downwards. This is a tight squeeze. I don't know where the fan is. This is the fan. Okay. So if I... Where does this go? Oh, no. Okay, come back down. Maybe this is why you don't mirror contraptions, folks. If I rotate this like that... Okay, so that's still gonna work. And now if we connect this... What's happening? Move upward. Perfect. Okay. And then we just need this one to be going the right way. Which it should be. When I also apparently need to set these things. Okay, this is looking kind of good, but we are not getting enough items that I would like here. So we're getting 4 things of cobblestone, but we're not getting the gravel that I want. Oh, okay, so this isn't able to do anything. It's these that need to fix themselves. Which is so weird that this didn't happen last time. Alright, so we're setting that to exactly 2 now. Which I think means it's probably going to work. It's going to work alright for what we need. But now I have to replace all of my wall. Because I deleted most of it. There we go, and now all we need to do is hook this bad boy up to the main circuit here. Alright, I think we are set up, but I need to set these filters. So, if we head over here, we need sand, cobblestone, gravel, and stone. So let's set all of these like this. We also have to invert them. And then we also have to quickly set this filter. And then I also need to set these back here, which is now done. And I think we are good to go. Let's move these so we get a good view. There we go. And final test. Gravel, sand, flint. Where's cobblestone? Cobblestone's going in. I think we're good. I think that's everything. Okay, so let's make sure. It looks like everything's working. This is looking good. I also want to make sure that clay balls are going in, and then down here the only thing I need to do is find clay balls. Do I have clay balls? Oh my gosh, maybe I don't. That would be funny. I totally don't. Oh, okay, well I don't have clay balls in here. So let me, I suppose, set clay balls to the same place flint is, put a void upgrade in there, and we're golden. Okay, now that this is all up and running, it's been running for quite a while, and I've just been like staring at this occasionally, and it looks actually pretty even. Like usually we get one of each thing in here. So I think the modifications that I made are working a little bit. I know obviously if we make, like, if we turn off stone, cobblestone, and gravel production, the sand just won't be able to keep up because it's only dropping 2 gravel at a time. But if it ever gets to that, I can just remove those filters and then it won't be that big of a deal. So I think for the rest of the episode, we're going to make one more farm here. I already have the items prepped in this chest. You can see up at the top there that there's a bunch of stuff. And there's a bunch of stuff in here. And it's going to go right about here-ish. It is a farm that I don't really need right now. It's a dirt farm. I have 36,000. But it's going to help feed into another farm that I'm going to make maybe next episode, maybe over here. I don't know if we have enough space. I want this area to be for enchanting. And I've kind of left it be sad, but I think over in this section, I'm going to have the farm that I plan to make next episode here, but it needs a dirt farm. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, because then that might spoil the next building that I plan on making. So yeah, let's get this dirt farm up and running. It should be as simple as hitting play. Sure, let's go for it. So this is going in here. It's actually really, really compact and small. The original dirt design was from a YouTuber called Uncle Ranger, who kind of made this thing. It basically, when you craft coarse dirt, it gives you 4 dirt and only uses 2 dirt. So you make 2 dirt profit every time, and you just spend gravel, which, as we've already seen, is infinitely farmable. Is it already done? I mean, it is a really small farm, so it actually could be already done. I think it is. So it's a design from Uncle Ranger that I just compacted by 1 block on either side and then a block shorter. And all I need to do is fill in this with water, and then I need a lava thing here. I'm gonna actually get some more framed trapdoors. And now if we just throw this in there, that shouldn't flow anywhere, and I think we should be ready to turn it on. So once I connect this, it should start going. Yes, it does. Beautiful. And now the only thing we need to do is feed in some starter dirt just to get this thing started. All right, so if we come over here, drop this, and then this one, this should start, yep, making dirt and placing it. So the thing that this uses is coarse dirt when right-clicked with a hoe. Uh-oh. It's always a vault issue. Of course. Okay, now this thing should work. So the vault, and also I forgot to place it in this minecart here. But if we, let's say, place a coarse dirt here, you should see it gets converted into dirt, as we saw. And then it gets spit out here. Beautiful. And now we should just have dirt coming out here. Lovely. And now this should start working. Nice. Okay. This is using the trick where in vanilla, just normal vanilla Minecraft, if you right-click coarse dirt with a hoe, it will turn back into normal dirt. In the create mod, the mechanical plow does the same thing as a hoe. So it basically turns the minecart into a movable object, moves the plow, makes it right-click on the coarse dirt, turning it into dirt, and then pretty much right after that happens, the drill here breaks it, it gets put back into this vault, and put back onto the depot there. Now, how do we get this into our system without just running out of dirt immediately? Down here, I have a threshold switch, which is set to 5% down to 2%. So basically it waits until it's 5% full. So I think that's like 150 dirt blocks. And then it lets this funnel open until it's 2% full. So it drops 110 out. So we still have 40 in the vault. And then we make a profit of 110 dirt. Every once in a while, it's not super fast, but it's also super reasonable, in my opinion. All right, so now all I'm doing is connecting this funnel to the main system just by putting a belt here, connecting it like that. And now if we place these blocks back, all we need to do now is wait for this item vault to fill up to, I think it's 150, it could be more, it could be less, and then we will see it actually work and put stuff in. But I haven't set any of the filters over here, so let me definitely do that. I think I'm just going to set it to this one. There we go, those filters are set, everything is going in properly, so we should now be filling up and this thing working. Oh nice, as you can see here, the sand is full, and so is the stone, but gravel and cobblestone are both keeping up, so that means 2 here is still a fine amount. What this probably means? I think sand, yeah, doesn't have too much space, and then stone, I just put in a storage upgrade ×2, because I don't really know if I'm going to use a ton of stone, but it's good to have, like, 8,000 is plenty. And then for gravel, I have a diamond one, so that's going to be going for a while. And then cobblestone, I have 2 storage upgrade tier 5s, so that's going to take a while. Sand is already full. I'm not too worried about that. I just didn't want to have to go mining sand myself. So I love to see that. And then dirt is going on its own as well. We have 16,000 dirt. which is quite a bit. We don't have a lot of grass. What I could do is create a little addition to this where I just pour water onto dirt blocks, because as you can see here, you just need a spout and dirt to make grass. So if I want to do that, I can, but I don't think I have too much of a purpose for grass blocks specifically. But if I ever need like more than 8, I'll set that up like right next to this or something. But that is going to do it for me today. We made a boatload of progress. I kind of showed you my design process and how compacting stuff works and how many iterations each machine takes. We then built the machine in the survival world, kind of cheating with the schematic cannon. We then connected it to our main system. We're already full on stone and sand, which is great. And then we finished off the episode by making the dirt farm way back there, which is compact and kind of fast. And I think it's already unloaded some of the dirt here, which is great to see, and it looks like it's working properly. So that'll help with our farms and stuff next episode. But that's it for today. So if you like this episode, be sure to like, and if you haven't, subscribe. Peace.